in the land of YouTube. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you all crazy. I promise. It's just YouTube changes settings and you get so conditioned to doing things a certain way and then they change it and it's like Anyway, I don't have to get into all that. I'm back in my office after a little foray to Maine and I'm back. And it's just been, a day of like, okay, let me switch gears and go back to office mode. So here we are, and thank you for joining me in Maine. And let me know how you're doing. It is Friday. Yeah, don't ever worry. I'll always, if at any point I don't come on, it's technological. And I'll do my best to scramble and get myself to be here. But just know that. I keep my word. And if I'm not here when I'm supposed to be, it's a technological thing. So, no wood panel. You never know where I'm going to turn up. Yay, Friday. Yeah, it's been a blur of a week. It's been a blur of a... I go home right in time for the Friday night show. Friday Night Live. This past week has been a blur. And that's not personal. That's like for all of us. It's been a blur. It's been like, what the heck is going on? We cannot change the direction of the wind, but we can adjust our sails. I love that. I love that saying. That's a good one. I've heard that one before and I've used it. Yeah, so that's what Gloria thought. It's just been a blur. We're in a blur. We're in a time of accelerating change and you gotta keep up, and that's why we're here. We're here to help each other to keep up. Are you keeping up? Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans. Let's see. Please fix what? Please fix poor what? I can't. Oh, Libby the lamb got knocked over. Thank you for letting me know. See, from my vantage point, I can't even tell that you can see the lamb. Hang on. Okay. Here, we'll put Libby the lamb here, under my fall tree. Betty Bunny's back. And I have a new sign. It's like it's Monday and before you know it, it's Friday. Yeah, it's so true. By the way, I just want to say thank you to my viewers that have sent me donations in the mail. I really appreciate it. It means so much. I know a lot of people don't like to do things online, but there is an option to send a donation to my P.O. box. So thank you for taking advantage of that and for showing your appreciation for all the time that I spend being with you, which I thoroughly enjoy. Yeah, Kalani, good question. I was just thinking about the time change. I felt like in 2024 the time change ridiculousness would be done. I mean, it just kind of goes to show you how we get conditioned to doing something a certain way, and then we just don't know how to stop doing the stupid time change thing. They do that in Hawaii. Oh, you're on the West Coast. They do the time change in Oregon, huh? There are some states that don't do the time change. It throws me off in a big way. I mean, especially when we fall back. Springing ahead doesn't seem like such a drastic change. It's all disruptive. But thank you, Cheryl. It's all disruptive. Hawaii and Arizona don't do time changes, but Kalani, I always think you're in Hawaii. I know you have connections there. So I'm going to do a new thing for the month of November, and here it is. It just came to me today. You know how we have Christmas trees? I'm starting a new thing. I just made it up. Maybe it will become a thing. You never know. 20 years from now, it might be a thing that everyone's doing. I decided to turn my fall tree into a gratitude tree. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. I need a pen for this. I'm going to let you write what you're grateful for that we can all relate to. And I'm going to make a little note and we're going to hang it on the tree. All right, so if you're just joining me, we're going to have a gratitude tree. I just thought it up. It's an original idea. I like original things. So we're going to start. Let's because this is a pro-democracy channel, it would be good if we could make it about that. But we can make it about other things too. Warren's grateful for group hugs. Okay. Hang on, I just need a pen. Let's see. We'll see if we can do this in Sharpie. Warren is grateful for group hugs. Group hugs. All right, and it's going on the tree. Something we all can relate to. Group hugs. Grateful for group hugs. Okay, so today's the 10th, so if we do this all the way until Thanksgiving, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe we'll do 3 a night. Grateful for 20 on Tuesdays. So what I'm going to write is grassroots of democracy. So we'll do 2 tonight. Grassroots of democracy goes on the gratitude tree. And democracy also. So grateful for grassroots of democracy and also grateful for democracy. 2 items on the tree. Kathy's saying grateful for living in a free country. Yeah, that's the same thing. So, all right, and we won't be repeating them, so you got to think about it. Oh, Anne says grateful for Annette. I like it. All right, gratitude tree. Grateful for... Hang on. It's coming. Okay. Grateful for... Sorry, I didn't know this was going to be so complicated. That says grassroots of democracy. Let's get started, shall we? When we last left our story, Trump was going off the rails. Warren's grateful to be alive after you had a big fall, and we're grateful that you're alive. Totally, all of you. And grateful for this community. So when we do this, let's make it like something that the group gratitude. We're grateful Warren's alive, definitely. When we last left our story, Trump was going off the rails. Now, grateful for Halloween, me too. Trump is getting very scary. The Republican debate is a joke. I think they have 1 or 2 more. Now I have to focus. I see your gratitudes, now I have to focus. Does anybody know how many more debates there's supposed to be? Republican debates, which are a joke, which the general consensus is nobody's watching them. Oh, grateful for the wrench, the wielders of the wrench. I want to take a look at some of you who are in Grassroots of Democracy. I did send you a copy of an email that I sent, another email that I sent to MSNBC. And I got to tell you something. I sent an email to MSNBC this morning because they had Peter Baker on, who was in New York Times. He's a contributor. I don't know if he's on staff there. Anyway, Peter Baker used to write pretty objectively. And now what I hear him saying is, oh, the Democrats, something negative. So I had enough. And at least I tune in to find out what I have had enough of. And then, sure as can be, they're making me mad again, because we don't need to be hearing bad news. And I'm starting to think that mainstream media is addicted to bad news. Like, if there's good news, they're just not going to tell you. They're just not going to tell you. And I don't know who Ari Melber had on earlier, because I was driving and I couldn't see who it was, but it was a professor. And honest to God, I'm listening to this professor and I felt like he was just taking the words right out of my mouth. Because he was saying exactly what I'm saying, what I've been thinking, is there is a lot of good news happening, but the news seems like they can't report the good news. There's some horrible, horrible things happening in this country. But there's a lot of good things happening in this country. Tuesday night. Yes, they need to cut it out with the pessimism and the, bad news sells. And I've mentioned here before, a while back, I went to a few screenwriters meetings because I like to write. Not that I was writing screenplays, but this is when I was in Nashville. And screenwriters are told that if you don't have sex and violence in your screenplay that you're trying to sell to Hollywood, this is years ago, they won't look at it. And the news is wired the same way. If you don't have drama and fear and freak out in the news, they think no one's going to watch. But you know what? We're kind of starved for good news, don't you think? And what happened on Tuesday, I cannot even begin to tell you from a psychic impression perspective what a huge, huge, huge shift happened on Tuesday. And then the Actors Guild, they came up, they have a new contract. The writers have a new contract. Late night came back. Now it's the actors are coming back. The auto workers, they're reaching deals with corporate. That is a big effing deal. They like, yeah, really, Earth Mom was saying they just like to create drama. And you heard that CNN stopped reporting the voting results because the Democrats were winning. There you go. I'm reading, I got 2 books going. One's Audible, and the other is Free the Press. In the book Free the Press, which I don't have right here, I'd tell you the author's name, but you can look up Free the Press. In that book, it's cited that the news media is owned by about 5 or 6 corporations. Kaiser ratified a new contract too. Oh, nice. Yeah, okay, so let's change that. So the way that I'm working on changing it is, so what I wrote to MSNBC was like, I actually said that I have a YouTube channel, my viewers are reporting that they don't watch the news. I told them what you guys have been saying. And I also told them that I have a YouTube channel. I mean, I didn't go on about it, but I said that we're all watching Midas Touch. We need to bring back the fairness doctrine, that is for sure. I kind of think, and I'm going to plug Midas Touch, it's the biggest YouTube channel in the world. If you think people don't pay attention around the world to what's going on in America, think again. We're like this big experiment. It's like the rest of the world are like the scientists doing observation and making up, theories. And they're definitely paying attention. So Midas Touch is they're almost up to 2 million subscribers. They're the most watched YouTube channel in the world, and they're starting to be cited on the mainstream news networks. They're starting to kind of bring them up, and this is the power of the people. We saw the power of the people on Tuesday. The power of the people said, we don't want this MAGA crap. This is crap. We are better than this. We don't want you in our bedrooms. Hello. We don't want you telling us what we can do. We don't want you saying, we don't like how you're going to vote, so we're just not going to let you vote. We don't want you shutting down the government every second. We're done with you screwing up this country. Republicans are starting to hate them. Well, maybe traditional Republicans. That's what the American people said on Tuesday. Not on our watch. We are fed up. We have been patient long enough. And for the mainstream news media to be telling us, oh, Donald Trump, oh, Donald Trump, oh, Donald Trump, oh, give me a freaking break. We know how dangerous he is. We saw what he tried to do to our country. We saw his violent mind at work. I mean, and it's not misinformation to tell us how dangerous Donald Trump is, but we do know. We do know. Republicans don't like the truth. We are in historical times. Yeah, most of us don't want to see Donald Trump anymore. We are in historical times. I just want to remind you all that it is a cult. And it is a cult of Trump. And it's been going on since 2015, 2016. The cult building up. And I want to tell you all something. I highly recommend. I'm endorsing people. Maybe I'll tell them. Maybe they'll endorse me. Heather Cox Richardson's book is a must read. And that one I'm listening to on Audible. I did finish Cassidy Hutchinson's book on Audible called Enough. Heather Cox Richardson's book is a must read. And let me tell you why. Because it goes over the history of the United States, some of which maybe you didn't know, which makes it make sense that we're going through what we're going through. And also, it recaps what happened during the Trump years. And if you can bear to kind of relive it, you feel the puzzle pieces all go together. And the culmination was January 6th, but then the big lie is continuing, which is something that was in Mein Kampf, the book that Trump really loves to read, according to his now passed away ex-wife, Ivana. Mein Kampf is the book that Donald Trump likes, in which it's cited that the bigger the lie, the more success you'll have with the big lie. Do we want another Hitler? Do we want a Hitler to rise up from the United States of America? This is a great country. This is a freaking awesome country. And I think all these MAGA people have to do a study of fascism throughout history and ask themselves, do they want to fear for their lives? Do they want to fear being sent to a labor camp? Do they want to fear for their families' lives? Do they want to fear starvation? Do they want to fear people just being whisked away and you never see them again? It was literally Nazi Germany during, honestly. So if you happen to get to read or listen to Heather Cox Richardson's book, it's astounding. I followed it all. I had PNN the whole time. Pretty much. I think I started 2019. So I was doing PNN videos the whole time, and I think I'm going to go back and see, like what did I say after January 6th and what all went on there. If you listen to the book, or if you read the book, it's called Awakening Democracy. I don't want to get that wrong. Hang on. Democracy Awakening or something? Let me tell you the right title. This is us doing our homework, right? We need to be able to educate people. So, Democracy Awakening. And the book looks like this. And you have to check it out. And what it made me aware of was how traumatized we all were and how we had to kind of block it out. And a lot of these things you'll be like, oh yeah, how did I forget that? How did I forget when that happened? Remember that? Oh yeah. Wow, that was awful. You'll see. Let's pull 3 cards about Donald Trump. It's exciting times that we're in too, because we all will be able to feel empowered. Tuesday night felt good. Good. Thank you, Terry, for promoting me. Yeah, Rachel Maddows, she has a new book out called Prequel, and the first one was great. what was the first one called? Ultra or something? No. What was Rachel Maddow's first book called? Anyway, it was a recount of the first fascist takeover attempt of the United States. Okay, interesting. This is, all right, I'm just asking about Donald Trump's energy right now. This is the United States. This is Donald Trump right now. And this is the Constitution. This is the law. Aw, thank you for saying you love the show. I love the show too, because I love you. Yes, thank you to the wrenches. So this is Donald Trump right now. This represents the United States doing really well, actually. Ultra. That was the name of the podcast. I thought I was mixing it up with Ultra MAGA. But Rachel Maddow's first book, I think she should get a Pulitzer Prize for the research she's done. Joe Manchin is running for president? Oh, God. Really? As a Republican? Because that's what he is. I don't care what anybody says. Donald Trump, he's on the defensive, and I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. He's going to lizard brain mode. Donald Trump is in reptilian lizard brain mode. Read on what? Joe Manchin running for president? He's not going to be president. Is that enough? It's only speculation. Let's talk about real news. All right. So it looks like this is Trump. And this is what he's up against. Yes, he's a lizard brain. No offense to lizards. But if you study the brain, I mean, clearly I'm not a brain surgeon, but when you work with people for decades, you kind of get curious about what goes on in this thing, this noggin. And one thing is for sure, that he's in that fight or flight brain. He is well, this isn't about the brain. This is more psychiatry, I suppose. He's a sociopath. He's a sociopath, and he's a sadist, and he's also he's an abuser. He's a murderous, violent person. And so the lizard brain is the brain that doesn't really feel. It's just reactive. So it's called the amygdala. Anyway, you guys probably know that, right? He's on the defensive. So what he's going to do is he's going to sling as much crap as he possibly can. I don't know what but you guys, yeah, fight or flight brain, yeah. You guys are like mentioning Joe Manchin, and I haven't heard that in the news today, so. Oh, Trump can't leave this country. I've gone over that many, many, many times. The deal with Trump is that, well, first of all, he can't leave the country undetected. And second of all, if he goes to another country, he's not going to live like a king. And he's not going to be living like a king for too much longer anyway. And, a king doesn't usually have all these problems. Well, people are saying Manchin is a distraction, but I haven't heard that Manchin threw his hat into the ring. Let's talk about Joe Biden, shall we? Let's talk about Joe Biden. Remember him? He's losing. Yes, he's losing. So, I mean, not Joe Biden. I mean, I'm just responding to what people are saying about Trump. Biden is, he's such a love. Joe Biden is such a love. He really is. He's like the good uncle, He's like the family member who cares about the rest of the family. I am sorry. It makes me puke. Not literally. When you see people bashing Joe Biden, I mean, it's like somebody who's doing the best job that he possibly can, not for his own ego gratification. And he has a great sense of humor. And he's awesome, right? Yeah, and I saw some of the speech to the auto workers. It was great. And that's why I wrote my ranting email. I can't even count how many emails I've written to MSNBC. They never write back, but it doesn't matter. But I feel like they do read them, so they have somebody on staff reading them. I'm like, look at, he's done a great job. Why are you not talking about it? So the more we show our disgust and our dismay at lamestream media, and the more we just say, we're sorry, we gave you a chance, I'm leaving now, the best, that's the best way to get through. Just say we're leaving, because they look at the viewership numbers to present to their advertisers to get more money. Joe Biden is a saint. I agree. It's beyond despicable what they're doing to Joe Biden. It really is horrible. Do you want fascism? And what I said to MSNBC was, if you care about your jobs, you would start promoting Biden and talking about the good things that he's doing. If you want your jobs, because what's Trump over there saying? He's going to go after all the mainstream, all the networks, and that even includes Fox. Yeah, during Joe Biden's speech with the auto workers, somebody fell and he was like, "You okay?" It was fun. It was funny. She was okay, or he was okay. I'm gonna pull 3 cards about Biden and the media. St. Joe and Dark Brandon. Yeah. The only thing I'm concerned about is AI. I mean, but I kind of think that the angels are with us. You know, because they can do fakes. Aw, thank you for your beautiful compliments. We're reading on the relationship between Joe Biden and the media, if it's gonna change. Interesting. Okay. Boy, the cards are hot tonight. This is what's happening to the media. They're getting crushed. The first thing to go is freedom of the press. The media is getting crushed. Don't let him kid you. The media is getting crushed. And not for anything, but I'm not a believer in pharmaceutical drugs and pushing pharmaceutical drugs. I'm not a believer in that. I'm really against it. It used to be against the law to advertise pharmaceutical drugs. That's between you and your doctor and all that. No, none of these companies should be pushing pharmaceutical drugs. So I can't even. You have to have a really great news show for me to actually watch it and risk having to watch those stupid ads. There's no need for that. So the media is hurting, because I think I'm not the only one. I think, the stupid Liberty insurance commercial. They need to call me for a better jingle. So this is the lamestream media, and this is January 6th. This is the 6th. And because of what's going to be coming out about January 6th, I mean, a lot's come out, but a lot more is coming out, believe it or not, after all those hearings. Hate the drug ads. See, it's not just me. It's not just me. And those ads are an insult to your intelligence. Yeah, Canada doesn't allow drug ads. Well, we used to be the same way. And we also didn't used to allow violent rhetoric, violent fascist rhetoric and lies on to the news. The news used to be the facts and just the facts, and we had a Federal Communications Commission. I think we still do, but maybe there's one person. I don't know. This is Joe Biden. And this is what I feel happening. You can't ignore what the good news that's in front of your face forever. Because if you keep saying, "Oh, it's so bad, oh, the economy's so bad, oh, the gas prices are so bad," like, I have to find out who it was that Ari Melber. Maybe you guys are watching Ari Melber. Liberty Bibbity. That Liberty commercial, it's bad. It's so bad. And guess who my car insurance is from? It's not because of the commercials. They do have low insurance, but they got to stop that. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm off topic. Yeah, so Joe Biden, so the good news eventually, I mean, these media networks are going to have egg all over their face, because how long can you, was it Paul Krugman? Okay, I don't know who that is. Warren was watching it. But I felt like took the words right out of my mouth. That he thinks that the news is afraid to say something good. And I swear the mainstream media is getting paid to bring down Biden too. Remember what I said, about 5 or 6 corporations own the media of the world. Of the world. Paul Krugman, yeah, it was great. I'm telling you, I was thinking the exact same thing that he was saying. They're afraid to report good news. If they say the gas prices are down, they say something, oh, but they're going to go back up. Oh, but it's probably, not good news for long for Joe Biden. The gas prices are down. Joe Biden is the reason that we got through COVID. Krugman is a Nobel laureate in economics. I need to look him up. Republicans own the media, so of course they want Biden gone. But let me tell you something. It's not working for the mainstream media because Joe Biden's doing an amazing job. So there. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Joe stopped watching the news. You bet the steep price of drugs is related to them advertising? You think? Do you think that a commercial that's 1.5 minutes long is cheap? Ask your doctor. Ask your doctor. And what's going to happen with Midas Touch and like Brian Tyler Cohen and all these YouTube channels and podcasts and Pod Save America? What's going to happen? This is what I really sense. Is they are going to supersede mainstream media. They're going to outshine mainstream media, and they're going to be left in the dark. And Joe's saying can't afford the doctor. Who can? Ask your doctor. And then I've heard from people that were either in the medical profession or they were talking to their doctor about such and such, and the doctor said all these people come in, demanding these particular drugs. Your body is a natural pharmacy. Think about it. Think about it. Your body is a natural pharmacy. A friend had to refill a prescription in Portugal and it was $4. I can't tell you how many times I've done readings and I pull the 7 of Swords. It's like, we are being robbed blind. Oh, thank you, Joe. She's putting me in that group. I don't have as many viewers. I gotta crack the code on that. Let's take a look at New York and how that trial is going to end up. Now, what I heard was that the Trumps are going to... Warren, you're the lawyer. The Trumps, I think next week, are going to bring their own defense. You come to me for news, I do my best to keep up. Will we ever take Big Pharma down? I'll take a look at that. Joe Biden's helping with that. $35 a month for insulin when it used to be thousands of dollars. That's just evil that it was that high. Okay, so next week, Druggy Don Jr. is going to take the stand on Monday. So he's been called to testify for the defense on Monday. So I'm not really sure how that works, but I'm going to look into it because I just heard that next week they get to defend themselves. So I'm wondering what they're going to have to defend themselves. So let's take a look at that. Shall we? Oh my goodness is right. Gloria's like, oh my goodness. Yes, oh my goodness, it's all, oh my goodness. The Trumps next week defending, oh, but we think that we're royalty and we're not supposed to pay taxes to help the little people. Seriously. You sure the defense involves a Sharpie? Yeah, where's my Sharpie? I just had it. They want to get their Sharpies and go, oh no, we're exempt from paying taxes. No, just like all our billionaires that, our father helped. Good Lord. They're calling 125 defense witnesses next week. How can they do that when Letitia James has the receipts? It's all there. They really do think that they currently live in a kleptocracy. Well, it's not entirely not true. $127. I gotta look into this. I think that story just came out. How it's gonna go for them next week. I just mentioned the Seven of Swords, and here it is, the Seven of Swords. They're going to try to continue to lie and to steal. What is wrong with Roseanne Barr? She's gone. She really... Darren's bringing it up. We'll get into that. So next week, the defense, the Trump family on the defensive. Remember when I said that there are people who have such strong past life impressions that it's almost to me as if their soul still thinks they're in that past lifetime? And Ron DeSantis, which is why I call him Ron DeFascist, is one. He's in the soul memory of he's a dictator. Remember how I used to go on and on and on about Ron DeFascist? Well, he's been out of the spotlight for the most part. But we'll get around to talking about him again. Donald Trump was Mussolini in his past life. That is my psychic impression. It always has been. If you want backup on that. Several people told me that Donald Trump's signature is exactly the same as Benito Mussolini's signature. And Mussolini died about 1.5 or 2 years prior to Trump being born. A horrible death. The people turned on him. And I think Roseanne Barr is on drugs, by the way. So we'll get to that. So I feel like some souls come in, this we've all been there, with such a strong impression. Like I was a tarot card reader in a past life. I know I was, right? This always felt like normal to me. So Trump is still Mussolini. Yeah. Mussolini died in 43. Yeah, Warren, I checked the math on it when I got the hit that he was Mussolini. So, well, let me tell you I'll give you the lowdown on all this. So Mussolini died obviously with a huge chip on his shoulder, right? Just came back in as Trump. People have told me his signature is identical to Mussolini's, that zigzag thing that Trump does. And also, and I've showed you pictures here on PNN. Side by side, a picture of Benito Mussolini and Trump, they look like the same person. If you see any black and white videos from the 40s of Mussolini, he stands like him. He juts his chin out like him. So when somebody's that close, to a past lifetime, when they incarnate, then sometimes it's my sense that they retain a lot of the same physical features and mental characteristics and emotional. So I think he's still in that lifetime. And to just take this a little bit further, I feel like he incarnated, and the negativity of his life is that he will never ever know what love feels like. He will never, Donald Trump's soul will never in this lifetime experience what love is. He has no experience of being loved or what love really is. He's very disconnected from that. However, Cheryl, did you look at the signature of Mussolini and Trump? They're exactly the same. It's like eerie. If you check it out, you'll be like, yeah, I can see it, Annette. I know you will. So in this lifetime, the karma of how horrible he was in that lifetime in Italy is that he would never, Donald Trump's parents didn't love him. He was brought up in an unloving environment. It was all about money, money, money. However, by doing damage to this country, he's forcing America to save our democracy. Because our democracy, in the state that it has been in over the past since Ronald Reagan, cannot survive the assault. Since Ronald Reagan, more than 40 years. They've been dismantling democracy. So Trump, worst case scenario, comes in, and I want to tell you something about that. None of it is hidden. He's now up there at these stupid rallies praising Kim Jong-un and trying to get people to love Kim Jong-un, whose people are fenced in and have zero freedom, and we don't even know what they do. When was the last time that you saw a photograph of a North Korean person? Donald Trump came along to be the thorn in our side, to force America to fix democracy. And we're all being forced. Trickle down does not work. Did you watch Midas Touch last night? It was really funny. Jordan on Midas Touch was doing a little trickle down, mime. It was funny. And we're all in this together, and we can all do this. We can. I mean, grassroots of democracy has been amazing. Let's, and we'll get to that. Let's ask how the, I'm trying to pick a trial, any trial. Which one? Jack Smith. Donald is out for revenge. He's actually calling it the revenge tour. Yeah. Warren's giving us a little history here. From 1933 to 1981, the country is governed by the principles of the New Deal from FDR. Reagan changed it. Has Hitler learned his lesson, or is he still in the dark? I feel like Hitler just dissolved. Anyway. Hello. 51 million Americans who are eligible to vote are not registered. That could change an election. Yeah, well, we're working on it. We have less than a year. Jack Smith, and let's look at this. Jack Smith and the January 6th trial, which is when? Getting my trials mixed up. Warren doesn't think the angels would let Hitler be reborn. They let Mussolini be reborn. These thorns in our side make us grow. Okay, March 4th. Okay, thank you, Electra Storm. The January 6th trial, Jack Smith cannot wait. Well, I'm really excited about that. That's probably a good thing. Joe's saying that Hitler's sitting in purgatory with all the other dictators. January 6th. The trial, the DOJ in January 6th. Get ready. I mean, we're already seeing it. Trump is out there just getting people to praise Kim Jong-un. I know. They are lost in space, these people. These MAGA Trumpsters, they are lost in freaking space. It's very tragically sad. They have no idea that Trump doesn't care about them at all. Cheryl's birthday is March 4th. The Sword of Truth. The DOJ versus Donald Trump on the January 6th trial. The Sword of Truth. And here is Donald Trump, the devil incarnate. Donald Trump is the devil incarnate. I am not exaggerating. I'm not just using that. He is the devil incarnate. He is evil and the embodiment of evil. And he's going to be just amping up the violent rhetoric like you will not be able to believe. It's bad. I've been telling you for months now, it's just going to keep getting worse. It's just going to keep getting worse. But we have the sword of truth. And when he's cornered, Look at what happened on January 6th. When he was cornered, when he was not getting his way, he turned to violence, and he turned to, let's just hang Mike Pence. So it's amazing to me that people don't think that he's capable of doing harm. The hatred just oozes out of him. It is so true. And he's all red, he's all bloated, he looks like he hasn't slept in months and months and months. But you know what? There have been times where I really have felt like when people have a deal with the devil, isn't that part of, I don't know, like these crazy movies or stories about selling your soul to the devil. The devil gives you something, like, you know, material things and gold and everything. If you sell your soul to him, that's basically this. And Kevin McCarthy popped right into my head when I said that. Bedazzled Dr. Faustus, yeah, selling your soul. The movie Little Nicky, they depicted Hitler, and it was hilarious. I'll have to look that up. But the sword of truth over January 6th and Jack Smith. Jack Smith prosecutes war crimes. We are in a war. You can't even believe. I know I'm blabbing on tonight, and you probably want me to answer more questions. But you can't even. I'll get to it. You can't even believe that people look at Trump and think that, you know, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And you can't even believe, too, that we are actually talking about, it's like we're talking about a foreign enemy, because we are. When we turn on the news, whatever news you listen to, and you hear about these violent MAGA people, and they're being talked about as if it's like we're in a war, like Ukraine's in a war with Russia. It's like we're in a different kind of a war, but it's people in our own country that are citizens. And Jack Smith is no slouch. We know that. And he's not afraid. He's single-minded. I mean, he's got normal human fears, I'm sure. But, you know, some people are fearless. Anti-American. But we're talking about these Americans like they're enemies who have invaded our country, because they really are, because they're under the mind programming of the Kremlin. Speaking of the Kremlin, let's see. I'm going to pull 3 cards on Putin. And what Putin, whoever it is right now, because we know he's got a bunch of doubles, the Kremlin. What the Kremlin is thinking, the bell's in the background, I don't know if you can hear it. Is Putin alive? That's a complicated question to answer, because Putin has not ever been one guy. He's never been one guy. He has lots of doubles, so it's hard to discern, you know, which one. I don't know if you guys notice it. We don't see a lot of pictures of Putin, but whenever I do see a picture of Putin, it looks really different. It looks like a different person, if you look closely. Oh, time for a group hug. Oh, time for a group thumbs up. Yeah, you heard the bells. Think group hug. All right, let's do a group hug, and then we'll get to Putin. 1, 2, 3. A saving democracy group hug. All right. Thank you. Oh, Thomas is reminding me I need to do a commercial. Let's read on Putin first. Thank you for reminding me. I have so much fun, I forget to promote myself. No tea leaves tonight. I was kind of scrambling. So next time, Monday. We'll do tea leaves on Monday. I'm just kind of get my bearings. You know, when you leave home, even if it's not for long, it's just like you kind of gotta get back in the groove. Warren, you need to stop asking me about the Supreme Court. You promise? Because it's too complicated right now. Putin. Eventually they'll leave. I know it's important, but you know how the whole legal system is. The The status of, this is why I hate to read on the Supreme Court, because the status of the Supreme Court is such that the way it's been set up, and it needs to change and it will, is that they are kings. And that's why it's so upsetting for me to read on the Supreme Court, because they have king status. Right? I love you, Warren. This is about Putin. Well, this looks like the Kremlin. Oh, gee, maybe I shouldn't have invaded Ukraine. Yeah, Sharon is saying justice grinds slow. But here's the thing about the Supreme Court justices. I'm sorry, I'm talking about two different things at the same time. It's so infuriating to me because they have king status and queen status, but the women are okay except for Ketanji Brown Jackson. Thanks, Warren. He's putting up my contact info to send a donation. Thank you. It's been working. The Putin. Sorry, I hope I'm not confusing you all. Maybe I shouldn't have invaded Ukraine. I should have thought about that, but still making it look like to the Russian people that he had no choice. Because what did Putin say? Let's retrace our steps. What does Putin say to the Russian people? And this is what the Republicans have done, the fascists, about the Democrats. Called us, like, people that love democracy, they call us fascists. They call us Nazis. And what the Russian people have been told, what the Russian people have been told, were told at the start of the war, was we have to go rescue the people in Ukraine because they're under Nazi control. It's not working out too good for Putin. And the Queen of Swords indicates that this is NATO. Ukraine just got accepted into the EU. And it's funny because I heard that after I'd read the last PNN that I did. I saw Ukraine standing on solid ground. Putin and Trump both wish they didn't do what they did now. Maybe that's true. So the European Union is going to make Ukraine much stronger, and that's going to be hard for, when people come together, when countries come together, it's hard to fight that. Where's Damon? Well, it's Friday night. Maybe he has a date. We'll let him know that he was missed on Monday. Clarence Thomas as your first name? The nerve of him. Well, Thomas, I wouldn't worry about that. There's a lot of really good Thomases out there. Like, isn't there an English muffin? 800-pound gorilla. Any hope of avoiding a government shutdown next week? Oh, yeah. I actually read on that. Oh, Damon's here. He's keeping a low profile. We thought you had a date. You could have kept us guessing. Oh, he's driving. Don't text and drive. Thomas Jefferson, right. English muffins. Do I have that right? Isn't that the name of an English muffin? All right. Okay, my commercial, real quick, but this is important. I have a new class coming up. And the class is on November 18th. It's an event. It's a 2-hour event on November 18th. Go to my website, psychicannetteDion.com. Sign up for the From Scarcity to Abundance event. It is the season. We have the Thanksgiving tree where we're putting our gratitude up. It is Thomas's English muffin. Sign up for the Scarcity to Abundance event. I mean, you've got to come to my events. They're really great. We have a great time. We learn a lot. I'm going to teach you how to change your brain wiring to be open to abundance. Cheryl's reminding us Church of Spirituality is every single Sunday at 1. If you missed last week, you should check it out. I was in Maine and you could hear the waves crashing on the beach. It's really nice day in Maine. And, no name, I'm new here. We'll get to the government shutdown. I did say that I didn't see a government shutdown. That was prior to Tuesday. And we'll get to that. Isn't that a cute little tree? I love that. Church of Spirituality every single Sunday at 1, live. If you need a spiritual upliftment, just go watch it. This commercial is brought to you by Damon. Just go watch Church of Spirituality if you need an upliftment. There's this beautiful sermon, there's music, there's inspiring prayers, there's a prayer time. Check it out. Free of charge. I take donations. I've been a psychic for 30 years. Book a reading. You get everything soup to nuts. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. I also do tea leaf readings. They're a little shorter and they cost a little less, so you can check that out. I mentioned the abundance class and grassroots of democracy. I told Terry, our helper, today that the notes that she takes for grassroots of democracy are the best of any grassroots of democracy, any democracy group that's out there. We have the best democracy group out there. And I decided to start bragging. Betty Bunny, you grateful for Betty Bunny? I decided to start bragging because we don't brag enough about what we're doing. And that's just, we're kind of humble, we're brought up that way. Don't think too much of yourselves. Well, I'm going to just start bragging about grassroots of democracy. Every Tuesday we do a guided meditation for a healed America. Not only do you get to be there for the guided meditation for a healed America live, but you get a recording of it afterwards. Let's celebrate all the good work we're doing. Why not brag? I don't know. I was listening to Simon Rosenberg the other day. He has Hopium, which everyone sign up for Hopium. It's great. It's a pro-democracy group. And he was talking about how people that are nice, they don't talk about themselves, right? So we're kind of in this mode of, we don't want to talk about what we're doing too much. This requires bragging. We helped what happened on Tuesday. Yeah, yippee, Ohio, Michigan, and Virginia. I didn't have my bell the other night. So definitely check it out. The course on manifesting is $45 if you sign up before the 12th, I think it is. The 12th or the 13th. And it's $5 more if you sign up late. But the class is on the 18th. By November 12th, you save $5 if you sign up by November 12th. A 2-hour class, just $45. You can't beat it. The fascists can't be the only ones bragging. Yes, thank you. You get a bell for that. That's awesome. So true. I mean, don't we want to be louder than Trump? Geesh. Please hit the thumbs up. And please subscribe to my channel. And thank you. And please share. I know it's a lot of blabbering. And I might go back to also doing just, Tuesdays and Thursdays doing short vids too. Like I was doing from outside, but it's a little cold for that. Hit the thumbs up. What time is it here? Marvy wants to know. It is... Wait, is that right? I don't know. I looked at the clock. I forgot to change. I hate this time change thing. And I'm like, how is it 9:15? I'm telling you what, they have to... I've predicted that they would get rid of this time change thing by 2024. So we'll see. Meanwhile, back with the cards. You bragged about me? I love it. You did? Thank you, Darren, on Midas Touch. Well, I bragged on them. I'm a pro-democracy channel. You need a lot of prayers in Florida. Deaths. I haven't heard Death Satan and his crew is killing and robbing Florida. They have been for a long time. Let's read on DeFascist. I haven't read on him in a long time. My sense about Ron DeFascist running for president was that ended the end of August. I don't care that he's just out there, making a fool of himself. Yes, Spirit speaks in a small voice, that's true. But we do have to brag about what we're doing for democracy. So I'm going to, DeFascist in Florida, I'm going to pull 3 cards about Ron DeFascist and whether he will be stopped. It's 7-Eleven in Chicago. Yeah, that threw me. I looked at my clock and I'm like, I haven't been on for that long, have I? I have like 4 clocks in my office, and I like analog. It's going to be challenging for Florida, like it isn't already, right? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think that Midas Touch would like that I'm pro democracy channel, and it's a kind of a it's kind of a different thing to have PNN rather than CNN. Florida and Ron DeFascist. This is how the people of Florida are going to feel, and this is why we have to rise up. You can't just sit there and do nothing. You can, but then you get what you get if you do nothing, right? The times that we're in require us to do something, because we can't just sit there and go, oh, it's fine, just hit me again, right? This is Florida. This is what Ron DeFascist is doing to Florida. He's robbing you blind. And it will be, yeah, New Hampshire, the same time in New Hampshire. It will be, this is a card for Florida. This is a card of, it's gonna be a challenge, but this is a challenge, this is a fight worth fighting. And that means you will win. It's gonna be a lot of work. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Hey, Makara. Who sent me these? We might look at those tonight. This fighting back is going to be hard for Florida, but it's going to be worth it, because Ron DeFascist is planning to be more fascist, especially when he gets off the campaign trail. He's going to get more fascist. But this is a fight that's worth fighting. Remember what happened on Tuesday. There are more democracy groups, saving democracy groups in this country than there's ever been. Remember, I heard the Moms of Liberty really took a big hit on Tuesday. Did you all hear that? Did you all hear that? I didn't read too much. Oh, Makara, I hope everything's okay. I didn't catch everything that you wrote there. Did you all hear that? The Moms of Liberty took a big hit. People are not going for it. This book banning stuff, they're not going for it. But we have to be consistent. We have to be consistent. The Supreme Court in Florida backs DeSantis. Well, he put them there. Can I read on the Portland teachers? Are they striking? Yeah. They lost a lot of seats. Okay, Moms for Liberty lost a lot of seats. Yes. Don't think that you're defeated, because that's what they want. Moms demand action. Beat their butts. Yeah. Notice the way they use words like freedom and liberty. Yeah. Not so fast. If you think that they have more power than they actually do, that will ruin everything. Because I was saying this to the Grassroots of Democracy group last night. When I tune into these fascist Republicans, I don't feel strength. I feel weakness. Simply, I feel weakness. They push the envelope, these fascist Republicans, they push the envelope and they push the envelope and they say, this is what Trump did. And it worked for him because it hadn't been done before. But now we're in a place where it's like, oh, well, and patriot, they use that word too. But now, we know the drill now, right? They're weak. They are weak. Not only are they weak, they are telling us exactly what they want to do. That's why they lost so badly on Tuesday. Like, thank God that they're telling us who they are. But they are weak. Let's all say it together. MAGA is weak. That's why I can't believe mainstream media goes on about Trump without saying his crowd sizes. Remember crowd size? It's not a huge crowd. And honestly, looking at a Trump rally, not that I watch them, but the little clips that I see, of Trump's rallies now, it's a few people, and I look at the people behind him, and I don't feel like that they're real. I feel like they're acting. I'm going to pull 3 cards about that. They're piddling crowds now. Yes. So why isn't the mainstream media talking about that? Geez, crowds are awfully small. Do you really want to be like listening to somebody talking about a retribution tour? He's campaigning on revenge. Remember his American Carnage inauguration speech? What the heck was that? Remember the 4th of July on in South Dakota? Comer's going after Biden again. Yeah, we should read on that. I read on it the other night. Do you remember the fascist 4th of July in South Dakota? Oh my God. I was like, there's so many memories of Trump, and Heather Cox Richardson's book is kind of bringing it back. Thanks, Heather. Of how horrified I was. I feel like not enough people were talking about it. In South Dakota on the 4th of July, I felt like I was in a communist China. Some of the crowd had paid to be there. That's what I was feeling. I felt like the people behind Trump during his most recent rally, the little clip that I saw, because Midas Touch does show you what's going on, as much as we hate to look. I didn't feel like that they were authentically fans. Yeah, they're trying to sending fentanyl to election workers. They're trying to scare people. We've been around this block before. Remember the anthrax scares? It's not like these threats haven't always been there. Now they have a name, and it's Donald Trump. What the heck am I reading on? What's the moon? Where's the moon today? Let's see. In Libra. Yeah, Libra. Air signs are kind of chatty. Comer sent out subpoenas. What a freaking joke. Let me reboot because I forgot what I was pulling cards about. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Yeah, that's the topic, but I don't know if I was pulling cards on it. Yeah. Should we pull cards on, I promise to read on the government, the potential for the government shutdown. I heard something about Mike Johnson today. What was it? It made me laugh. Oh, it's like this. It's like, they're saying, oh, Mike Johnson, he doesn't know what to do. He's in a conundrum. And to which I responded right out loud. I was driving. I was like, oh, Mike Johnson, he's really in a pickle. He doesn't know what to do. And I was like, how about cooperating? How about maybe you test that out? They took off for 3 days. That's what they keep doing. Oh, we can't deal with it. Well, let's take a long weekend. What the WTF? I was reading on the teacher strike. Thank you. Reality burst Mike Johnson's bubble today. Let's read on the teacher strike in Oregon first. Is that where it is? Kalani, or is it in more than Oregon? Some of the comments I can't read out loud. I could get in trouble. Anyway, the teacher strike. It looks like it's going to be quick. It looks like there's a little bit. Kalani was asking about the teacher strike in Oregon. And it looks like something's going to happen quickly, but there's a lot of teachers that are afraid of not being paid and that are kind of scraping by. So it looks like it's going to end quickly, but they will get something. It looks like they'll get like more benefits or something like that. I'm not sure what the teachers are asking for. Dale says, my roots are in the earth and I feel unswayed by any emotional attack by dark forces. I like it. The force is with you. Hug trees. You know how much I talk about nature. You know how much I shoot videos from out in nature. If I didn't have nature, my moon is in Taurus. I need nature. I need nature. I think we all do, but some more than others. The Speaker of the House is the Speaker of the entire House, not just one party. Yeah, reaching across the aisle is in the Speaker's job description. That's why I laughed. I was like, oh, what's poor Mike Johnson going to do? Maybe he could try cooperating. You want to know what my beliefs are? Pick up a Bible. Give me a freaking break. There's a separation. If you want to read the Bible, that's all your prerogative. Read the Bible, but that's not what governing is about. The new moon is on Monday. We did a new moon show. Thank you, Janet. So sweet. We did a new moon show on the 7th, on Tuesday, on election day, before the votes came in. Civil emergency in one of the big cities. What? Where? In Iceland for there's a volcanic eruption. Well, Iceland has a lot of that. The government shutdown. Actually, I want to read on Mike Johnson first. I know, Mike Johnson only reads the Old Testament, obviously. Is he an anti-Semite too? He doesn't know what he is. He's also a pervert. So bad. I mean, I'm just telling you what we already know, right? Marjorie Trader Green had a threat. Oh, poor Marge. Oh, was she afraid? Oh, poor Marjorie Trader Green. She had a death threat. Give me a break. MAGA Mike. Let's read on MAGA Mike first. First, we're going to read on MAGA Mike. You want to know my beliefs? Read the Bible. What are you, a pastor? All the power to you if you're a pastor, but you're not going to shove your ideas down your interpretation of the Holy Book. Marjorie Trader Green got a death threat? How many death threats has Marjorie Trader Green issued? I don't think you can even count them. One of them was about killing Joe Biden. One of them was about a bullet through the head of Nancy Pelosi, or was that Lauren Boebert? Nice. See what I mean by we're in a war in our own country. The enemies are American citizens. They caught the guy. I got lost. What's going on? They caught what guy? Arrested the guy who she wants. Oh. What? The FBI arrested the guy that issued a death threat? The one she wants to defund? Yeah, what the heck? Yeah, let's defund the FBI. Now, is she going to keep saying let's defund the FBI when they probably saved her life? Although I don't get that she was really in danger. What? The FBI protected you from the death threat and you actually wanted to defund the FBI. Yeah. The truth comes out eventually. This is about MAGA Mike. Well, let me tell you what MAGA Mike is going to do. Yeah, Marjorie Trader Green wants to defend the FBI when they just found the guy who issued a death threat. Mike Johnson. This reminds me of somebody who is so needing to shove their religion down your throat that's the thing on their mind. It's very cult. Mike Johnson is like, I'm just going to keep sticking to my Bible thing, and I'm just going to keep sticking to that I'm not going to give in to the evil Democrats, and I'm just going to keep sticking to that. Oh, it was Boebert that threatened Joe Biden's life. That used to be grounds for being unseated. But the Republicans stand by and they're like, oh, Gosar is doing a graphic depiction of murdering AOC and murdering Joe Biden. Oh, it's okay. You can keep your seat. Midas touch outshines all the media, all the mainstream media. That's true. MAGA Mike is going to make himself look terrible. He's missing an opportunity to just go along to get along, but he's not going to go along because it's a cult mindset. I must turn everyone into a radical, extremist, Taliban-like Christian nationalist. That's Mike Johnson. That's Mike Johnson. That's tunnel vision Mike Johnson. I have to force people to be Christian nationalists. Now let's read on the government shutdown. He's a member of the new apostle, I can't even read that. Apostolic, is that a word? Apostolic Reformation. They're extreme right wing. That just confirms what I just picked up on. Extreme right wing means he's not going to cooperate because he's in a cult. It seems a lot of Republican politicians are now being trolled by their own. Yeah, they're starting to eat their own. Let's read on the government shutdown. What I got on Monday before the election results rolled in on Tuesday, which I want us all to continue to celebrate. Terry's calling it the Republican shutdown. It would be, yep. And what I said on Monday was I don't think they'll let the government shut down because of how damaging it would be to them. Not because they have compassion, not because they want to do the right thing for the American people, not because they're stand-up men and women. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Because I don't think there's going to be a shutdown because it will be too risky for the Republicans. But let's see what the cards say. Because things sometimes shift. They'll start getting a taste of what they've been dishing out. They will. It's already starting to happen. Look at what's happening to Trump. And one thing that's going on our gratitude Thanksgiving tree is that rather than being under a fascist dictatorship that could have happened on January 6th, we're still a democracy and Joe Biden is president. Yippee! Government shutdown. Well, they do this every time. They're gonna just wait until it's down to the wire. We are reliving the 1930s. I totally agree, Yogi Bear. We are. It's in a different way. It's a different era. There are way more people. But we kind of are reliving that. I'm going to ask Kathy, our professional Aquarian, about that. Why is it what's astrologically going on that's the same as the 1930s? But we made it through that, and we didn't become a fascist country. There are way more of us than them. So, this is about the government shutdown. This looks like hell for the Republicans, I'm telling you. They can't even deal. They just go away for the weekend. And they probably went away for a long weekend because they probably, and we got to read on Tuberville today, with it being Veterans. They're honoring Veterans Day. Oh, well, tomorrow's Veterans Day. Linda said she never thought all this crap was going to last so long. Well, we have to get it. We haven't learned our lesson yet. And the lesson that we're supposed to learn is to be involved, every single one of us. If you live in America and you're an American citizen, the lesson that we're learning is that we have to be involved. And on that note, tomorrow at Grassroots of Democracy, because we meet on Saturdays too, we're going to do we always do a civics lesson. We're going to talk about the Electoral College. We're going to start educating ourselves about democracy. So this is the Republicans in peril. Tubeville. But this is about the shutdown. I feel like the Democrats are going to step up like they always do, and they're going to make one little tiny concession so that we don't shut the government down. We have to pay attention. It's our civic duty. Just like voting is our civic duty, and it's not that we're doing it for everybody else. Don't we want to live free? It's a ploy. It's a fascist ploy to get us to not want to be involved. It's a fascist ploy to take civics out of the classroom. All right. Let's look at MAGA Mike's fate. I don't see him lasting till January. I don't. We're just gonna look at MAGA Mike's fate. Let's see. The fate of MAGA Mike. You saw it here. The fate of MAGA Mike. I don't think I need to say any more, but I will. Because the American people start to put the pressure on. Fear-mongering. They're weak. They are weaklings. Look at how little is MAGA Mike. How little is Ron DeFascist he has to wear lifts in his heels? How little are Donald Trump's hands? I think Mercury is in Sagittarius. Aha! My Mercury is in Sagittarius, and Mercury is in Sagittarius. That explains it. I just won't shut up tonight. I'm blaming the planets. MAGA Mike, here we go. You guys have been with me long enough. You can read that. The Democrats are going to make a teeny little concession, and the government will not shut down. Ron DeFascist wears lifts in his heels. Well, you know, he gets all upset when you say that. So what do you think? The FBI seized Mayor Eric Adams' electronic devices. I feel like, didn't New York not fare so well in the elections? Eric Adams, I don't know if there's a connection there. We can look at that. Taylor Swift is well, you're saying did America great. Taylor Swift is continuing to do America great. I don't think she's going to stop making people get out the vote. Did Eric Adams, is there any connection to Eric Adams and New York? I don't know what's going on in New York. New York used to be blue, 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 blue. Is Eric Adams, are his fingers in anything like what's going on in New York? Yep. Yeah, so New York is blue, I know, but they've been, I know it's blue, but they voted for George Santos. What the heck? I get that there's a little bit of a connection. There's a little bit of a thread between Eric Adams and what's nefarious stuff is going on in New York. He's a mayor of New York City. NYS is driving you nuts. NYS? You mean New York City? New Jersey. I'm lost. I think Eric Adams did something illicit, and he's being investigated for that. That's all I see right now. I haven't really looked into the news story about that. I have enough to keep up with. Let's do some community. Isn't Eric Adams, all right, somebody tell me his exact title, because I thought he was the mayor of New York City. George Santos was voted in New Jersey. I stand corrected. Eric Adams is in New York City. Yes, that's what I was saying. The mayor of the city of New York. That's what I was saying. And I feel like there's something, there's a thread that connects him to the nefarious activity in New York City that has to do with Republicans having some, too much influence. Santos is in New York. I know. You guys are confusing me. I'm already overwhelmed with news. Yeah, George Santos is in New York too. All right, let's wind down. It's all right. I'm used to the confusion. Let's wind down with some community cards. New York City has ranked choice voting? Oh, I didn't know that. Adams acts like a Republican despite being a Republican. I don't know what you're talking about, Warren. Congestion pricing? You're talking about the price of Sudafed or what? Anyway, we need to wind down. This is getting too long. Let's choose 3 community cards, but before that, I want to ask you to please subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit the thumbs up. It's painless. I'm starting to get loopy. I've been loopy all night. Maybe it's the main effect. Let's pull 3 community cards. No, I didn't pour any tea tonight. There's too much going on. But Monday we'll do tea leaves. You're welcome. I have faith. Maine has ranked choice voting. Maine needs to elect somebody other than Susan Collins, if you ask me. Because I heard Susan Collins gets a lot of money from the NRA, and she didn't do anything about the gun violence. Never give up. Our democracy is in good shape. It's just that it's being tested, and our democracy being tested is going to force us to fight back, which makes us stronger. Okay? Ranked choice voting isn't worse. You end up with Eric Adams. Well, it could be worse. Okay. 3 cards for the collective. The land of confusion. 3 cards for the collective. And then join me for Church of Spirituality on Sunday. Book a reading. I have time tomorrow. I have open slots. YouTube is not the way to get readings. I'm really learning that. When you become a member, you get a beautiful affirmation 5 days a week in your inbox. When you become a member at the High Priestess or World levels, you get invited to a psychic party the last Saturday of the month. Boy, is that fun. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah, you get 10% off a tarot reading. Susan Collins, yeah, Cheryl's in Maine. You gotta do what you can to vote Susan Collins. Susan Collins is out of touch. Do you remember when? I'm trying to remember what was going on when somebody wrote in chalk. Oh, it was the abortion man. Somebody wrote in chalk, please, something, Susan, in chalk. She called the police. Somebody wrote in chalk in front of her house. Oh my goodness, that chalk. For some reason, the guides wanted me to pull 4 cards, so here's the 4 cards. We have a choice. It's cards for the collective. We can focus on the evil, and we can focus on the stealing and the evil and the horrible fascist Republicans. We can focus on them and get all freaked out and all full of fear and feel powerless. We can do that, or we can celebrate the good. What we put our focus on. Do you know Willie Nelson has Willie Nelson has a book out. Willie Nelson just turned 90 earlier in the year. Yeah, I know Damon's in the house. He did reveal himself. He was driving. Willie Nelson has a book out called Energy Follows Thought, which is also the name of a song that he wrote called Energy Follows Thought. You gotta listen to it. It's great. But that just popped into my mind. Stephen Colbert interviewed him on his tour bus, on Willie Nelson's tour bus. I love Willie. Energy follows thought. So here's my point that I'm making the long way. We can focus on how bad it is. We can continue to watch lamestream news and get all freaked out and fearful because they're going to make you hyperventilate. It is bad. Rose saw that with Willie Nelson. 90 years old. I love it. Or we can focus on how good we can make this country. We can focus on how strong we can make our democracy. We can focus on that Donald Trump is not in the White House. We can focus on what we've been able to achieve together. We can focus on there's a record number of democracy-saving groups around the country that are working tirelessly. We have a little bit less than a year. Every day we can work, every single person working towards saving democracy. We can focus on this or we can focus on this. Okay, energy follows thought. Go listen to the song by Willie Nelson. I love you all. I always look forward to being with you. I do take donations. They do help me a lot. And book a reading. It's always a great time. I will be back on Sunday with Church of Spirituality and back. PNN is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7, live at 7 Eastern Time, PM. All right, go get some rest. The time change is kind of screwing us up. I got 2 different times here. But I'll go with the 8:45. All right. Love you. Namaste. See ya.